Have you ever planted tomatoes, taken care of them all summer, and then ended up with only a small harvest? Maybe the plants looked healthy at first, but later the leaves started turning yellow, flowers dropped, or the tomatoes stayed small and took forever to ripen. The good news is that growing strong tomato plants with bigger harvests does not require complicated techniques or expensive products. Many gardeners make tomato growing harder than it needs to be. The secret is understanding what tomatoes actually need and giving them the right conditions from the very beginning. For generations, experienced gardeners have followed a few simple principles that help tomato plants grow stronger, produce more flowers, and develop larger, healthier fruit. These methods are easy enough for beginners but powerful enough to improve results even in experienced gardens. In this video, we'll discover the simplest ways to grow thriving tomato plants, avoid common mistakes, and encourage a bigger harvest throughout the season. So, if you want your tomato plants to become healthier, stronger, and more productive, keep watching. The first step to a successful tomato harvest begins before you even plant your tomatoes. Choose the right location. Tomatoes are sun-loving plants. One of the biggest reasons gardeners get disappointing harvests is planting tomatoes in a location that does not receive enough sunlight. Tomatoes need plenty of direct sunlight every day. A bright, open area helps plants produce energy, grow stronger stems, and develop sweeter fruit. When choosing a planting spot, look for an area that receives at least 6 to 8 hours of sunlight. More sunlight usually means better growth and better production. Avoid planting tomatoes too close to large trees, buildings, or plants that create heavy shade. Even if the plant survives, limited sunlight can lead to weak growth and fewer tomatoes. Good air circulation is also important. Tomatoes need space around them so moisture can dry from the leaves after rain or watering. Poor airflow can create conditions where fungal problems spread more easily. A sunny location with good airflow is one of the easiest ways to give your tomatoes a strong start. Start with healthy soil. Many gardeners focus only on fertilizer, but healthy soil is the real foundation of a successful tomato garden. Tomatoes grow best in soil that is rich in organic matter, loose, and able to hold moisture without becoming waterlogged. Before planting, improve your soil by adding compost or well-aged organic material. Compost helps provide nutrients slowly, improves soil structure, and supports beneficial organisms that help plants grow. Healthy soil allows tomato roots to spread deeper and access more water and nutrients. Strong roots create stronger plants. A common mistake is planting tomatoes in hard, compacted soil. When soil is too dense, roots struggle to grow, water may not move properly, and plants can become stressed. Before planting, loosen the soil and mix in organic matter. This simple step can make a huge difference throughout the entire growing season. Plant tomatoes deeper than you think. One of the easiest tricks for growing stronger tomato plants is planting them deeper. Unlike many vegetables, tomatoes can develop roots along their buried stems. This means that planting a tomato seedling deeper can encourage a larger root system. A bigger root system helps the plant absorb more water and nutrients, especially during hot weather. When planting, remove the lower leaves from the stem and place part of the stem underground. Leave only the upper portion of the plant above the soil. Over time, new roots will form along the buried stem, creating a stronger foundation. This simple technique is especially helpful for young plants that look tall or weak because it helps them become more stable. Give plants enough space. Many gardeners plant tomatoes too close together because they want to grow more plants in a smaller area. But overcrowding often leads to smaller harvests. When tomato plants are too close, they compete for sunlight, water, and nutrients. Their leaves stay wet longer, and air cannot move freely between plants. Giving tomatoes enough space allows each plant to grow properly and produce more fruit. The exact spacing depends on the variety. Large tomato plants generally need more room, while smaller varieties can grow closer together. Remember, one strong, productive tomato plant can often produce more than several weak plants growing in poor conditions. Water the right way. Watering is one of the most important parts of tomato care. Tomatoes need consistent moisture, but they do not like constantly wet soil. Too much water can weaken roots, while inconsistent watering can cause problems such as cracked fruit or uneven growth. The best approach is deep and regular watering. Instead of giving plants a small amount of water every day, water deeply so moisture reaches the root zone. Morning is usually the best time to water. This allows plants to absorb moisture during the day and gives leaves time to dry. Try to water the soil around the base of the plant rather than spraying the leaves. Wet leaves, especially overnight, can increase the risk of certain diseases. Mulching around tomato plants is another excellent way to maintain steady moisture. A layer of organic mulch helps prevent water from evaporating too quickly, keeps soil temperatures more stable, and reduces weed growth. Materials like straw, shredded leaves, or compost can work well as mulch. A simple watering routine can often make the difference between struggling plants and a successful harvest. Support your tomato plants early. Tomato plants may look small when they are young, but many varieties become large and heavy once they begin producing fruit. Providing support early helps keep plants healthy and prevents branches from breaking under the weight of tomatoes. Stakes, cages, or trellises help keep leaves and fruit off the ground. This improves airflow, makes harvesting easier, and reduces contact with wet soil. Waiting too long to support plants can damage roots because installing supports later may disturb the root system. The best time to add support is soon after planting. A supported tomato plant can focus more energy on growing and producing fruit instead of struggling to stay upright. Remove unnecessary growth. As tomato plants grow, they produce many leaves and side shoots. While leaves are important because they create energy for the plant, too much unnecessary growth can reduce airflow and make the plant focus more on leaves than fruit. One important maintenance step is removing some unwanted growth, especially on certain tomato varieties. Many tomato plants develop small shoots between the main stem and side branches. These are often called suckers. If left unchecked, they can create a very dense plant with many branches competing for resources. Removing some suckers helps direct more energy toward flower and fruit production. However, it is important not to remove too many leaves. Tomato leaves are responsible for producing energy, and the plant still needs enough healthy foliage to grow properly. A good balance is the key. Keep enough leaves to support the plant, but prevent excessive overcrowding. Also remove any yellow, damaged, or diseased leaves near the bottom of the plant. These leaves no longer contribute much to growth and may create problems if they remain close to the soil. Regularly checking your plants and making small adjustments is much better than waiting until problems become serious. Feed your tomatoes at the right time. Tomatoes are heavy feeders, meaning they use a lot of nutrients while growing and producing fruit. But more fertilizer does not always mean more tomatoes. One of the most common mistakes is adding too much nitrogen. Nitrogen encourages green leaves and rapid growth, but too much can create huge plants with lots of leaves and very few tomatoes. During the early growth stage, tomatoes benefit from balanced nutrients that support strong roots and healthy development. Once the plants begin flowering and producing fruit, they need more nutrients that support blooming and fruit formation. Potassium and phosphorus are especially important during this stage. Organic options such as compost tea, aged manure, or other natural fertilizers can help provide steady nutrition throughout the season. The goal is not to force the plant to grow as quickly as possible. The goal is to create a healthy plant that can naturally produce a large harvest. Encourage more flowers and fruit. A tomato plant with many flowers does not always produce many tomatoes. Sometimes flowers appear but drop before forming fruit. This can happen because of temperature stress, inconsistent watering, poor pollination, or nutrient problems. Tomatoes usually pollinate best when temperatures are moderate. Extremely hot weather can interfere with fruit development. To encourage successful pollination, gently shake tomato plants or tap the flower clusters. This helps release pollen and can improve fruit formation, especially when growing tomatoes in areas with limited natural pollinators. Creating a garden environment that attracts bees and other helpful insects can also support pollination. Planting flowers nearby provides additional food sources for pollinators and creates a healthier garden ecosystem. A productive tomato garden is not just about the tomato plants themselves. It is about creating the right environment around them. Protect plants from extreme weather. Tomatoes love warmth, but extreme conditions can slow their growth. Very hot temperatures can cause stress, reduce flowering, and prevent fruit from forming properly. During heat waves, keeping soil moisture consistent becomes especially important. Mulch can help protect roots from temperature changes and reduce water loss. Cold temperatures can also damage tomato plants. If young plants are exposed to cold conditions, their growth may slow significantly. Planting at the right time for your climate is one of the easiest ways to avoid unnecessary stress. Healthy plants are not created by fixing problems later. They are created by preventing problems before they happen. Watch for early signs of problems. Successful gardeners do not wait until plants are completely damaged before taking action. Regularly inspect your tomato plants. Look at the leaves, stems, flowers, and fruit. Yellowing leaves can have many causes, including natural aging, watering problems, nutrient issues, or disease. Curling leaves may appear because of environmental stress, heat, or other growing conditions. Spots on leaves may indicate disease or other problems that require attention. The earlier you notice changes, the easier it is to correct the situation. Spend a few minutes each week checking your plants. This small habit can protect your entire harvest. The importance of mulching. Mulch is one of the simplest tools that can improve tomato growth. Many gardeners underestimate how much difference a layer of mulch can make. Mulch helps keep the soil temperature more stable, protects roots from extreme heat, reduces evaporation, and prevents weeds from competing with tomatoes. It also helps prevent soil from splashing onto leaves during watering or rain, which can reduce the spread of some soil-related problems. Organic mulch slowly breaks down and improves the soil over time. A garden does not always need expensive solutions. Sometimes the simplest methods provide the greatest benefits. Harvest tomatoes at the right time. Knowing when to harvest tomatoes can also affect the quality of your crop. Many tomatoes develop their best flavor when they are fully ripe, but harvesting at the right stage depends on your situation. If tomatoes are exposed to pests, harsh weather, or possible damage, picking them when they begin changing color and allowing them to finish ripening indoors can be a useful option. Handle tomatoes carefully when harvesting. Damaged fruit can spoil more quickly. Regular harvesting also encourages some plants to continue producing more fruit because the plant can focus energy on developing new tomatoes. Do not wait too long until tomatoes become overripe on the vine. Check your plants regularly and collect ripe fruit often. Simple secrets that experienced gardeners follow. Many successful gardeners do not have a secret product or complicated system. They simply pay attention to the small details that make plants healthier. They prepare the soil before planting. They choose the right location. They water consistently. They protect the roots. They observe their plants regularly. These simple habits create better results than trying to fix problems after they appear. A healthy tomato plant is not created overnight. It is the result of many small decisions made throughout the season. Grow strong roots first. One of the biggest mistakes beginners make is focusing only on the visible part of the plant. They see leaves, flowers, and tomatoes, but they forget that everything begins underground. Strong roots are the foundation of a productive tomato plant. A plant with a large, healthy root system can handle heat better, recover from stress faster, and produce more fruit. To encourage strong roots, avoid overwatering, improve your soil, and allow the roots enough space to grow. Remember that the healthiest plants are not always the tallest ones. They are the ones with a strong balance between roots, leaves, and fruit production. Avoid common tomato growing mistakes. Even experienced gardeners sometimes make mistakes. The difference is learning from them. One common mistake is planting tomatoes in the same location every year. Over time, soil nutrients can become unbalanced, and certain problems may become more common. Rotating crops when possible helps maintain healthier soil. Another mistake is ignoring the plant until problems appear. Tomatoes respond well to regular attention. Small actions like removing damaged leaves, checking moisture levels, and supporting branches can prevent bigger problems later. Another mistake is expecting too much from young plants too quickly. Tomatoes need time to establish themselves. A strong harvest comes from patience and consistent care. Use companion plants wisely. Some gardeners grow certain plants near tomatoes because they believe they help create a healthier garden environment. Flowers such as marigolds are often planted nearby because they attract beneficial insects and add beauty to the garden. Herbs and flowers can also help create more diversity, which supports a balanced growing space. While companion planting is not a replacement for proper soil care, watering, and maintenance, it can be a valuable part of a healthy garden strategy. A diverse garden often creates a better environment for plants and helpful insects. The power of homemade compost. One of the easiest ways to improve your tomato harvest is creating your own compost. Compost turns everyday organic materials into valuable soil improvement. Kitchen scraps such as vegetable pieces, coffee grounds, and plant material can become a natural source of nutrients when properly composted. Adding compost to the garden improves soil structure and helps the soil hold moisture while still allowing air to reach the roots. Over time, compost creates healthier soil that supports stronger plants. Many gardeners discover that improving the soil brings better results year after year. Be patient during the growing season. Growing tomatoes is a process. There will be periods when plants grow quickly, and there may be moments when progress seems slow. Do not become discouraged if your plants do not look perfect every day. Nature is not perfectly predictable. Weather changes, insects appear, and plants respond differently depending on conditions. The most successful gardeners are not those who never face challenges. They are those who observe, learn, and adjust. Every season teaches something new. The simple formula for bigger tomato harvests. If you remember only a few things from this video, remember these principles. Give tomatoes plenty of sunlight. Plant them in healthy, rich soil. Encourage deep root growth. Water consistently. Provide support early. Feed plants according to their needs. Keep good airflow around leaves. Protect plants from stress. Harvest regularly. These steps are simple, but together they create the perfect foundation for a productive tomato garden. You do not need a complicated routine. You do not need dozens of expensive products. Healthy tomato plants come from understanding what they need and providing those needs consistently. The biggest harvests often come from the simplest gardening habits. So this season, give your tomatoes the right start, pay attention to the details, and enjoy the reward of fresh, homegrown tomatoes picked straight from your own garden. If you found these tips helpful, share this video with another gardener who wants a bigger tomato harvest. And remember, a successful garden begins with one healthy plant and a little care every day.